Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good afternoon everyone. Hi, how are you today? I hope you are always in a good shape and staying healthy. Keep spirit. Okay, this is the second video actually in a selecting sample. In the previous video, I have explained in Bahasa, so you can get more insightful explanation. So for this session, I'm gonna tell you in English. Okay, so topic discussed in this chapter is quantitative sampling and qualitative sampling. So quantitative sampling, we have selecting random samples and selecting non-random samples, while qualitative sampling is selecting purposive samples. Let's talk about the purpose in quantitative sampling. Why do we have to choose sample? The purpose is to identify participants from whom to seek some information. So we're gonna have some information, so we need to find and we need to select the samples. The issues are the nature of the sample, the size of the sample, and the method of selecting the samples. So let's talk about the quantitative sampling. In quantitative sampling, we have some terminologies such as population, sample, subject, sampling technique. So what is the population actually? So the population is all members of a specified group. So in that population, we have target population and accessible population. To generalize your target population, for example, you're gonna conduct the research and try to search the information about the junior secondary school or the senior high school. So all the senior high school students in Indonesia as the population, and you have like accessible population, so the population to which the researcher has access. So you have the easiest one or the access to access the population. For example, in South Sulawesi, the appropriate one, and then Selayar district is one of the accessible population for you. So you're gonna see the senior high school in Selayar. And then we have sample. Sample is a subset of population. It's a part of population. So why do we have to choose sample? Because the population is a really large amount. So when we take all the population, it will be really difficult for us. We have like a subject. Subject is a specific individual participation in a study, and we have like sampling technique, the specific method used to select a sample from a population. And then we have quantitative sampling. So in quantitative sampling, we have some important issues like representation and generalization. So the representation is the extent to which the sample is representative of the population. It consists of three characteristics like demographic, personal, and specific traits. The specific traits, for example, like you're gonna talk about, or you're gonna conduct the research related to IQ of the students. And then we have generalization. Generalization is the extent to which the results of the study can be reasonably extended from the sample to the population. Okay, another important issues, we have a sampling error. So when we are having the sample, please be careful and watch out. The chance occurrence that a randomly selected sample is not representative. Contoh, kalian akan menggunakan cluster random sampling, that you pick individually from each classes, so it is not cluster but individual. So watch out with the way or the technique of choosing the samples. Then we have also sampling bias. Avoiding sampling bias in your research. So some aspect of the researcher sampling design creates a bias in the data. For example, surveying on students who attend additional help session in a class and using data returned from only 25% of those sent a questionnaire. So 25% is really not appropriate from 100%. And another example is you try to compare between the ability in class A and class F. And commonly happen that is a class means they have in English. So class F, they have a really low ability in English. So it will be biased because class A it's already good. It's already very good or excellent. Then there are some important issues. Identify a population, define the sample size, and select the sample. We have general rules for sample size. Jadi ada aturan umum yang terjadi ketika kita memilih sample size. As many subjects as possible. So 30 subjects per group for correlational. Jadi 30 subjek per grup, causal, comparative, and through experimental design. 10 to 20% of the population for descriptive designs. That is the general rules. Another important issues are for sample size is you can see the table 4.2. This one. Create a Morgan table that the population is 10, the sample is 10. So the population is 100, so the sample is 80. The population 800, the sample is 260. So you can see from this guide the Morgan table. So let's have a look at this. Okay, over here, this the general rules for sample size. So the larger the population size, the smaller the percentage of the population needed to get a representative sample. So for a population of less than 100, use the entire population. Jadi kalau populasinya itu kurang dari 100, artinya kita menggunakan semuanya itu sebagai sampel. Kalau populasinya itu 500, sample is 50% of 500, jadi sekitar 250. And then kalau populasinya itu is about 1,500, the sample is 20%, 20% dari 1.500. And last, jika populasinya itu larger than 5,000, jadi sampelnya itu 400. So that is the general rules. You can follow this if you want to conduct the quantitative research. And okay, we move to the selecting random samples. So known as a probability sampling, best method to achieve a representative sample. And we have a technique: random, stratified random, cluster, and systematic. In the previous video, I have explained it, so you can compare this English and also in Bahasa. Okay, so let's random sampling. Selecting subjects so that all members of all population have an equal and independent chance of being selected. Jadi ada kelebihan dan kekurangannya. Kelebihannya, it is easy to conduct, sangat mudah untuk dilakukan. High probability of achieving representative sample, meets assumption of many statistical procedures. And disadvantages are identification of all members of population can be difficult. Jadi mengidentifikasi jumlah anggotanya itu sangat sulit, dan contacting all members of the sample can be difficult as well. Okay. Well, we can have another discussion in another video. So, guys, if you have any question or you need to clarify something or confirm, please let me know. Feel free to ask Ma'am Aini. For the next video, we are going to continue with selecting random samples. Okay, guys, I think that's all. I hope you're always in a great conditions. Keep spirit and be happy. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good afternoon.